Hello and welcome to Cricket Happenings. This on a Sunday on 5th of August 2018. Your host Ram here is welcoming you all, dear friends and subscribers, to this daily cricket show today. And what I have in store for you, dear friends and subscribers, is two matches. One is Bangladesh yesterday at Lauderhill in Florida in the United States leveled the T20 series with a very nice victory over the West Indians, and that in itself I thought it was a real achievement as Bangladesh won the match. It was a close game which was won by 12 runs. Tamim Iqbal was the one who was the man of the match with a very good innings of 74 that he played, where we definitely saw the Tamim Iqbal of old and also Shakib al Hasan. So it was all about the experienced brigade for Bangladesh actually doing it, raising the score at 171 for 5. And the West Indian innings, they really went after it. But in the end, it was the Bangladeshi spinners who bowled an excellent line, and the Bangladeshis won the match by 12 runs to set up the decider, which will be coming up tomorrow, and Bangladesh have leveled the series 1-1. So that is one match I'm going to talk about, and the other one is that South Africa have completed the ODI series win against Sri Lanka, and here South Africa put up their highest score in Asia of 363 for 7. South Africa deciding to drop the out of form Aiden Markram and gave a debut to Reeza Hendricks at one drop, and Reeza Hendricks has taken this opportunity with both hands as he came and he hit a century. He hit a century on debut. He was making his debut and he went on to hit a century of 88 balls, thus becoming the fastest century on debut by a South African, because everyone have taken, all the South African players whoever have made centuries on debut have taken more than 88 balls, but Reeza Hendricks was really different today as he played very well for his 102 of 89 balls. So that was the feature, and Dumini made a very hard hit 92 of just 70 deliveries as South Africa perched themselves on 363 for 6. As I said, the highest score ever in Asia by a South African team. And Sri Lanka definitely gave it a good fight, but the fight was only coming from Dhananjay De Silva, who contributed 84. They tried their bit, but in the end, the South Africans were victorious by 78 runs as they won the ODI series now. With only 2 more to go, they shut the door on the host Sri Lanka. So these are the two matches that I'm going to talk about. First, I'm going to start off with the second T20 match, which was played in the United States between Bangladesh and West Indies at Lauderhill in Florida. So Bangladesh batted first and they put on a score of 171 for 5 of their 20 overs. Now, they didn't have a good start. Ashley Nurse picked up the wicket of Liton Das pretty early for just 1 run of 5 deliveries. Mushfiqur Rahim was also sent back, so it was Bangladesh did not have a good start as Mushfiqur Rahim was sent back to the pavilion by Ashley Nurse, the off-spinner, who started proceedings along with Samuel Beattie. So it was a sort of a double spin combination which was entrusted the task of bowling with the new cherry, and it really paid rich dividends as Liton Das and Mushfiqur Rahim were packed up early. After that, the out of form Soumya Sarkar was given a send off as he was into the pavilion after making 14 runs of 18 deliveries, 1-4 and 1-6, a victim of the bowling of Kimo Paul. And the Bangladesh innings was really looking in a bit of a disarray at 48 for 3 after 7.4 overs. But Tamim Iqbal was there in the centre. He was joined in by the other experienced person, Shakib Al Hasan. As you know, Tamim Iqbal and Shakib Al Hasan are the ones who have been in some very good form on this particular tour, where they have got this combination going, which is, according to me, the good thing to happen for Bangladesh, with both of them firing at either end. And that's what precisely happened. There was a wonderful partnership that started, where one saw Tamim Iqbal once Shakib Al Hasan actually came into the picture. It was a transformed Tamim Iqbal, as Tamim Iqbal was getting the runs pretty quickly and briskly at the other end, Shakib Al Hasan, and suddenly one saw that there was a real transformation in the game when Tamim Iqbal and Shakib Al Hasan started playing their strokes with gay abandon, and things were really working fine, with a 90 runs partnership coming in pretty good time, one could say, because it was just 7 overs. So in 7.4 overs, they were 48 for 3, and before one could look at with the start of the 16th over, and the 16th over, in fact, Tamim Iqbal was so severe on Andre Russell that he smacked him over mid-wicket for a 6, lofted him over extra cover for a 6. He also hit one more 6 at the bowling of Samuel Badri as well, but the 16th over was a torrent of runs coming in for Tamim Iqbal. 2 sixes, a boundary. I thought it was probably 22 odd runs were taken of Andre Russell over, and Tamim Iqbal was really turning it on, as they had to really up the tempo. But then Russell picked up his wicket. That was quite a different thing, but Tamim Iqbal had done his job in a pretty good fashion after contributing 74 of 44 deliveries, which included 6 fours and 4 sixes. Shakib Al Hasan was there in the middle. He was also looking very sharp in his batting, as he was stroking the ball freely and fluently, and he was there till the final over, as his contribution was 60 of 38 deliveries, 9 fours and 1 6, and finally Mahmudullah chipped in with an unbeaten 13 of 10 deliveries, 1 4. Arifullah was not out on 1, and Bangladesh definitely did well to reach 171 for 5 of the 20 overs. Eventually, that 171 for 5 proving to be a winning score. As far as the bowling was concerned, Samuel Badri 2 overs, none for 14. And I have to say that Samuel Badri, normally a very good T20 specialist, unfortunately has not been looking the Badri that we know of. Ashley Nurse 4 overs, 2 for 25, did a fine job. Andre Russell 4 overs, 1 for 33. He was good till such time Tamim Iqbal tore into him in the 16th over. Kimo Paul 4 overs, none for 39, was very costly, but took 2 wickets. Kesrick Williams 3 overs, slammed for 29, and Brathwaite went for 29 of his 3 as well. So West Indies were given a target of 172 to win from their 20 overs, and the openers Andre Fletcher and Evan Lewis started proceedings for the West Indies. But Evan Lewis, who has been not having a really good run, he had a lean run, and Mustafizur Rahman actually picked him LBW for 1, so that was wicket number 1. After that, Andre Russell came in and launched his pyrotechnics, as he swung Mustafizur Rahman for 2 sixes and hit a quick fire 17 of 10 balls with 1 4 and 2 sixes, and in trying to do it to another delivery from Mustafizur Rahman, Mustafizur Rahman got his man, as Russell was caught behind at the bowling Mustafizur Rahman, 17 of just 10 deliveries, 1 4 and 2 sixes. Marlon Samuels came in and hit a very quick 10 runs of 3 balls, including 1 4 and 1 6, but Shakib Al Hasan picked his wicket, and Andre Fletcher, after making 43 of 38 deliveries with 3 fours and 2 sixes, was a victim of the bowling of Nazmul Islam. Andre Fletcher definitely played well for his 43. And at that time, the score was it was 48 for 3. It was almost a similar situation as to how Bangladesh were going in their innings. But then it was a sort of Andre Fletcher was the only one who was actually getting some runs under his belt there. And then Marlon Samuels out to the bowling of Shakib Al Hasan. Dinesh Ramadan could not do much. It was allegedly bowled Ruben Hussain for 5 relevant deliveries. Roman Powell was the ideal companion for Andre Fletcher, as both combined and started slamming some boundaries, as Roman Powell and Andre Fletcher took it on. 58 for 4 took the score on to 116. So it was basically a 56-run partnership, which was done pretty well. But then the next wicket to fall was Andre Fletcher, as he fell a victim to the bowling of Nazmul Islam for 43 of 38 deliveries, 3 fours and 2 sixes. Roman Powell carried on, and he was the hope for the West Indies at that particular moment. When Brathwaite came in, Brathwaite hit 11 of 7 deliveries with 1 4 and 1 6, and he was a victim of the bowling of Shakib Al Hasan. So definitely the pressure started building once Brathwaite was out. That Roman Powell was still there. When Brathwaite was out, the score at 131 for 6 of 17 overs, and the 17th over, and it required another 20 deliveries still remaining, but 20 deliveries remaining and 71 to get, and it was still a possibility with Roman Powell at the crease. But the problem for Roman Powell was that Ashley Nurse was victim, as suddenly one saw the bowlers Shakib and Nazmul Islam bowling a good line, as Ashley Nurse fell a victim to the bowling of Nazmul Islam for 16. Kimo Powell was bowled, and finally when Roman Powell fell after making 43, he tried to up the tempo, out for 43 of 34, 3 fours and 2 sixes. The hopes of West Indies totally vanished with that stroke from Roman Powell, as the score at 146 for 7. But Ashley Nurse is also a man who is capable. He really did his best, but in the end it was all over, with the West Indians being restricted to 159 for 9. Bangladesh winning the match by 12 runs. Tamim Iqbal was the man of the match. The bowling, Abu Haidar went for 26 of his 4. Mustafizur Rahman was costly, but he was the wicket taker. 4 overs, no maiden, 50 runs and 3 wickets to Mustafizur Rahman. Ruben Hussain, 4 overs, 1 for 35. Shakib Al Hasan, 4 overs, 2 for 19 was excellent. Nazmul Islam, 4 overs, no maiden, 28 runs and 3 wickets. And I thought the Bangladeshi spinners at the end stages did a wonderful job. So Bangladesh have levelled the series against the West Indies in the T20, and now the decider would be coming up tomorrow, and that should be a real beauty. Well, so from here we head on towards Kandy in Sri Lanka, where South Africa were taking on Sri Lanka in the third one-day international. So it was a must-win match for the Sri Lankans, but unfortunately that was not the case. South Africans took the match, and South Africa, as I said, took the Sri Lankan. It was a perfect batting pitch here in Kandy, and runs were really cascading, and the South Africans definitely taking the Sri Lankan bowlers by the batsmen taking the Sri Lankan bowlers by the scruff of the neck, as they went on to post and score, which was the highest score by South Africa in Asia, of 363 for 7 of their 50 overs. As far as the 363 for 7 is concerned, Hashim Amla was, as I said the other day, he made a run ball stuff, and today he got his first 50 of the series, first 50 of this tour of South Africa. So that was for Sri Lanka, as you would know, as to how important this innings was. Hashim Amla got off like a train. Quinton de Kock was a victim of the bowling of Lairu Kumara for 2, and Reeza Hendricks, who had actually taken the spot in place of an out of form Aiden Markram, and Reeza Hendricks did a wonderful job. As I said, Hashim Amla joined. Hashim Amla was really looking pretty good at the crease, and I think Hashim Amla has definitely found his mojo after seeing what he was doing, and he really carved an excellent 59 of as many balls with 9 fours and 1 6, which is pretty good to see. Reeza Hendricks continued on in his merry way, and he was not he was really playing in a very confident manner. He was driving well, and suddenly we saw Reeza Hendricks went on to make 102 runs of 89 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6. As I said, it was a century, an ODI century on debut for South Africa, and it also happens to be the fastest century by a South African player on ODI debut. 102 of 89 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6. Du Plessis was a victim of the bowling of Pereira for 10 of 14 deliveries, but Dumini was there as an excellent companion for Reeza Hendricks to push the score along. 137 for 3, and the score was pushed by Hendricks and Duminy to 215, with some heavy hitting coming in from JP Duminy's bat as he slammed 92 of just 70 deliveries, which included 8 fours and 4 sixes. And David Miller also clubbed 51 of 47 deliveries, 5 fours and 1 six. Reeza Hendricks was bowled by Lahiru Kumara for 102. Feluquayo not out on 24 of 11 deliveries, 3 fours and 1 six. Mulder was bowled by Dhananjaya for 2. And South Africa, as I said, perched themselves on the highest score in Asia of 363 for 7, which was very well done. Lakmal, 9 overs, 1 minute. If you look at the Sri Lankan bowling, they were all taken to the cleaners. 9 overs, 1 maiden, none for 59 for Suranga Lakmal. Lahiru Kumara, 10 overs, 2 for 67. Akila Dhananjaya, 10 overs, slam for 81 runs with 1 wicket. Thisara Pereira was the only one who was amongst the wickets. 10 overs, no maiden, 75 runs and 4 wickets. Jayasuriya, 6 overs for 42. Dhananjaya De Silva bowled 5 overs for 32. Now, Sri Lanka were given a chase of 364 runs to win the match in 50 overs. And looking at the batting pitch, Sri Lanka definitely would have thought that they had a chance here. But as I said, it was a must-win match for them, but they faltered. But definitely they put up a very good fight, one thought. Well, as far as this particular Sri Lankan card was concerned, they were bowled out for 285 in 45.2 overs. Lungi Gidi provided them a double breakthrough as he dispatched both the openers, Taranga and Dikwala, into the pavilion with the Sri Lankan score on 37 in the 6th over. Taranga contributing 19 of 17 deliveries, 1 4 and 1 6, and Dikwala making 10 of as many balls with 2 fours. Nigidi was the one who was using the short stuff very well, and he was really giving a tough time to the Sri Lankan players. Pereira came in, Kushal Pereira and Kushal Mendes. Kushal Pereira's contribution, it was all about the Sri Lankan batsman definitely getting a start, but not able to take it further, and that was the problem for the Sri Lankans. Pereira made 27 of 17 with 4 boundaries before being LBW bowled Feluquayo. Mendes fell a victim. Mendes at least he got I would say he got a start, 31 of 34 with 4 fours, trying to find his form, but couldn't. And Nigiri was the one who took his wicket as well. Pereira was a victim of the bowling of Mulder, as he was caught behind for 16 of 14 dealt with 2 fours. Angelo Matthews made 32 of 42, 3 fours, 1 6, LBW bowled Shamsi. But Dhananjaya De Silva kept the flag flying for Sri Lanka. Dhananjaya De Silva kept on going, and as far as Dhananjaya De Silva was there at the crease, there was definitely some hope for the Sri Lankans. There was a sliver of a hope, one could say. And Dhananjaya De Silva went on, but the problem happened to be he definitely got some good company in the form of Akila Dhananjaya, who contributed 37 of 42 balls with 4 fours, becoming a victim of Feluquayo. But Dhananjaya De Silva kept on going. And as I said, the run rate became a bit worrisome, with 90 runs required of the 50 balls, and it was definitely a very, very tough ask. And Dhananjaya De Silva, in the process to go and try to go on some attacking mode to get Sri Lankans to the victory, perished after making 84 of 66 deliveries, which included 8 fours and 3 sixes. Lakmal was caught in man. After that, it was just a mere formality. Lakmal went for 12 of 15 with 1 4. Jayasuriya was bowled by Shamsi. Kumara was not on 7, and the South Africans the Sri Lankans were bowled out for 285, and the South Africans winning the ODI series. In fact, there is 2 more to go, which will allow the South Africans to do a lot of experimentation, with Keshav Maharaj having not yet played a single game. And as far as the bowling was concerned, Kagiso Rabada, it was none for 34, but Lungi Gidi was excellent, even though he leaked a bit of runs. 8.2 overs, no maiden, 57 runs and 4 wickets for Lungi Gidi. And Andy Feluquayo was absolutely slammed to the tune of 74 runs of this 9 overs, having 3 wickets to show in his bag. Mulder, 6 overs, 1 for 34. Shamsi went for 62 of his 10 with 2 wickets. And Duminy, 4 overs, none for 24. And the man of the match going to none other than the debut ODI century for Reeza Hendricks. And Reeza Hendricks, as I said, taking the opportunity which was left by Aiden Markram's out of form with both hands to make. And now Aiden Markram might probably have to work his way out, but there could be a possibility that Aiden Markram would be getting another life here, because the reason I say that is because South Africa have already won the ODI series, and with the 2 matches coming up, they might probably try to slot in Aiden Markram to try whether he can regain his form, because Aiden Markram, as I said, is a wonderful player. It's probably the temporary form that he's in, which is not really working with him right now. Well, dear fans and subscribers, always a pleasure to bring this daily cricket show of mine into your drawing room here. And cricket is all about excitement, as far as one can bring the excitement right down into the drawing room of the audience. That is what cricket is all about, and that's what I believe in as far as cricket is concerned. Thanks for your company, and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram signing off this on a Sunday. Thank you.